everyone, I hope you're doing great and I hope you're doing amazing. It's such a wonderful, bright and sunny morning where I am, and I'm super excited as well to see what the year of 2025 has in store for me. I also acknowledge that Januaries come with a lot of expectation, a lot of financial burden, and a lot of transitions that require mental fortitude and financial muscle. And I know that can be very straining and distressing to some of us. And today, as I was pondering on the difficulties some of us have, not everybody has the ability to store up money for January. Some people live literally on basic survival. Some people live hand to mouth. Some people had money, and so many other things came between them too. Whether it's a project that you're spending on, whether it's sickness that you had to expand all your money, and now you're in a place where you don't even know how to start. Obligations need to be met, whether it's preparing children to go back to school, whether it's paying off your house rent and your bills, basic survival. You need financial help for basic decency so that you're able to function. But you're stuck and you're wondering, where is my help going to come from? So if you're one of those people, this podcast is for you, and I urge you to stay on and stay up to the end. But before I delve into my message today, I want to remind you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and share with your colleagues, and share with your family this YouTube channel, Conversations with Grace. And I want to welcome all the new viewers to Conversations with Grace. Welcome and welcome. My friends and I learned a very valuable lesson through the experience of one of us. She's in the tours and travel industry, and let's call her ex. She's new in the business, and she's trying to spread her tentacles and ground herself in the industry, in her country and in East Africa. And some of her dream destinations has always been Kenya for people from her country, and she has wanted to explore the coastal region. And God, in his sovereign power, heard her cry and heard her prayer that she had throughout the year. She's like, Grace, I just need to come back to Kenya one more time and explore your coastal region and see and experience and know what it is that is there in the coast, so that when I am bringing people to your country, I have experienced, I have seen, and I have worked in those places, and I have one-on-one touch with the service providers. And God, the way maker, made a way for her, put her in a place where she got a fully funded trip for people in the tourism sector in her country to come and visit and explore the coastal region of Kenya. Royalty treatment, presidential treatment. It was such an amazing trip for her, and we thank God for that. Fast forward, she has a trip that she's supposed to organize for a family in her country for the 2nd of January to visit certain sites and places in her country. Problem is, the money that she had in store to organize for this trip, she borrowed somebody, one of her friends, in hopes that by the time the trip is to materialize, the money would have been repaid. But guess what? The friend also got disappointed, and they were not paid on time. And so it's 31st of December. We are distraught, we are agitated, we are anxious, we are uneasy because there is no money. She's supposed to have put structures in place. She's supposed to have contacted the service providers. She doesn't have the money. She's supposed to have made down payments by now. So all this time throughout December, she had been literally on the friend's case. Pay me my money. When are you getting my money? Pay me my money. So every conversation that we had throughout December, we had been cussing and cursing and saying, we women, we never learn. And she was really cursing herself and looking herself as a fool for falling to that trap of loaning people money. When you have dealt with human beings enough, you have been disappointed enough, you should know better, right? And so I joined in on that and said, how could you use your money that is meant for this purpose and loan it out to somebody? But then one day, as I prayed, I was about to pray and get into my bed. I finished praying and I was just sitting on my bed, and a thought came to my mind and said, Grace, don't look at this situation on face value. You have prayed as much as you have been too anxious, and your anxiety has overcrowded your faith. So that just switched on a light bulb in my mind. And I called her and I texted my friend. It was almost midnight. And I say, hey, how is your situation with so-and-so? And she called me in the morning and she said, it is bad, Grace, it's bad. This person has been lying. This person has been making false promises. This person has been taking me around in circles, and I'm starting to feel like I've been conned. And I have told this person that you are conned. You are a con man. You have conned me, and this person has tried to convince me that no, the reason why I still pick your calls, the reason why I keep explaining to you, I am not taking you around in circles. I am just explaining my situation. I did this in anticipation for these results. I was anticipating that I was also going to get paid, but I have not been paid, and it has also affected me. And you can see that you can even see that I've not been able to meet my own personal obligations. So when she explained to me that situation, I told her, you know what? There's something about this situation that we should just not look at in face value. So on 31st of December, as I was jogging and meditating, an idea comes to my mind. So I come back home immediately and I make a video call. And two of my friends join in. So at this point, my friend is in a catch-22 situation. She's literally between a rock and a hard place. You're supposed to organize for a trip. You have no money for it. And rightfully, humanly speaking, it was okay to assume and to believe that this person is a con person. So as we're making this video call and we're talking, the ideas that I got when I was jogging and I was meditating came to my mind, and I implored my friend and I told her, X, let's assume for 1 minute. Let's just assume for 1 minute. And I was saying, look at your bank account as a basket. God has given you a basket and the basket had money. So assume at this particular moment that God speaks, that if he spoke right now and he said, you know what? That money that was in that basket was actually providence for that person to take care of whatever thing they need. So I implore my friend to look at her bank account as a basket. The basket belongs to God. The basket is from God. Everything that fills this basket is from God. So assume that God asked you to take money from this basket and give that person. So God is in heaven and is anticipating that you look up to him to fill the basket. But what we have been doing is we are looking at the person to fill in that basket instead of looking up to God. And God is saying, I'm the one who filled the basket. Why don't you trust me to fill the basket again? You use the money to help somebody. You use the money for medical attention. You use the money for healthcare. You use the money for whatever emergency or whatever situation came up. So now you're coming back to the basket, but instead of coming to the source and looking to the source once again to open for you avenues to fill in the basket, we are looking at one of his resources to fill in the basket. I think we have been approaching this situation all wrong. So from this moment, before we end up this call, I want us to switch our perspective on who our source is. Who is the person who fills your basket? And we said we are going to pray right now, and we are going to ask God for forgiveness, first of all, for looking at resources as our source, and for failing to run to him first when our basket is empty. So we made a prayer. We told God to forgive us for losing sight of who our source is. And now to open our minds, to open our hearts, to open our hands, we position ourselves to receive. And we say, God, please, we know that you are the owner of silver and gold. You are the provider. Your word says that you shall supply our needs according to your riches in glory. And Father, we have a need right now, but we have looked for the needs elsewhere. Yes, we know, and rightfully so, that when somebody makes a promise they're supposed to keep. But we also lost sight that human beings are not entirely in control of everything. It is at such a time that you need us to come back to you, and therefore we are sorry that we have gone and sought a replenishment into our baskets from other people, and now we are coming to you. And we ended the prayer and we all went our separate ways. So on 1st of January, we didn't check on each other until late in the evening when I asked my friend, hey girl, how's it going? And she said, you know what? After the prayer, God gave me ideas. He gave me that idea of who to call. Some people just gave me ideas. Some people just gave me advice. Some people gave me money. All the ideas, all the advices, and the money that I received were able to put up the trip. I was able to negotiate with the service providers. I was able to negotiate with the transport company. I even got a tour guide as an addition. I even got some complimentary services in addition to what I even anticipated earlier. God literally did exceeding abundantly over and above what I had thought or imagined. I have been busy. On 1st of January, I woke up, people are celebrating. I was just at work. And let me tell you, right now, I need to sleep early because I need to go and fuel the vehicles myself to ensure that, you have to do some things on your own. You have to be hands-on so that I can release the tourists. And that, my friends, is how God came through for her. Even during the trip, there was a hiccup that showed up. But this time round, we were not approaching the hiccup from a place of ignorance. We were approaching the hiccup from a place of confidence on the person who is the master orchestrator, God himself. And when the hiccups came, she knelt down, she prayed to God, and hearts were softened, ways were made, doors were opened. And as I speak to you right now, our WhatsApp chat group, she has said, help me thank God that my people have come back safely and the trip has been a success. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a reminder to somebody out there who is in a difficult situation, who doesn't know where to start. Some of us may have our financial baskets full, but we have our emotional baskets empty. We have our psychological baskets empty. This is a call to remind you that our source is willing and able to replenish our empty coffers. The experiences that we're going through are not unique and they're not new. If you read throughout the Bible, so many of the Bible characters who are giants had to go through so many of these situations. One of them is David, the king who God recognizes as a man after my own heart, of situations that took from him. And in penning down his experiences, David shows us how he replenished his coffers as well. And one of that is found in one of my favorite Psalms, Psalm 121. And I will read Psalm chapter 121, verses 2. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. So David realized that throughout his desert experience, throughout when he was in the wilderness, where he was being hunted by Saul, and God gave him a small army to lead, and he found himself in situations where the armies of Saul almost caught up with him and almost killed him. And even in that situation, he realized and he acknowledged that his help cometh from the Lord God Almighty. Now, when you seek God first, God is a game changer. He's a way opener. He's a way maker. So when you go to him first to fill that coffers, he's not going to drop manna from heaven the way it used to happen before. But what he's going to do, he's going to connect you with the right person at that time. God will work in different ways for different people, but let's anticipate. Let's stand with unwavering faith that God is on your side. But let's stand with unwavering faith that God is going to come through for you. God is on your side. God, the heavenly resources will be availed to you when you ask. He only says, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. So if there is a door that you need to go and knock to ask for help, and God has put it in your heart to go and knock that door, go and knock the door, because God has already spoken. He has already gone ahead of you to make the way for you. So don't be passive. Seeking God does not require passivity. It just puts you in a position to receive and anticipate that help is going to come and is going to be made available to you. So don't despair, don't be discouraged. Start the year and carry that all the heavenly hosts is behind you, is backing you up, and is looking for your success, the success of your children, the success of your mental health, the success of your financial health, the success of your economic health, the success of your career health. Every aspect of your life, you have the backing of heaven. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're encouraged, and I hope that this is just the motivation that you needed to get you out of that place of discouragement and to get you out of that place of hopelessness. Thank you very much for tuning in once again, and don't forget once again to like and to subscribe. See you next time.